Hello, today we're going to learn how to classify triangles by sides. You have been learning how to classify triangles by angles this past week, but you can also classify triangles by sides. Now there are three types of triangles that we are going to talk about today. They are called scalene triangles, isosceles triangles, and equilateral triangles. The first triangle we're going to focus on is a scalene triangle. A scalene triangle means that no sides are the same length. Notice here we have three side lengths that create this triangle, 7, 5, and 9 units. They are all different side lengths. That's why we can call this a scalene triangle. In this example here, we have side length of 3 inches, 5 inches, and 7 inches. Notice again, they are all three different side lengths, which is why we classify this type of triangle as a scalene triangle. The next triangle we're going to discuss is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle means at least two sides are the same side length. Notice here we have a triangle as well. This side is 10 units, but the other two sides are both 6 units. Now notice two side lengths are exactly the same measurement. Therefore, we can call this an isosceles triangle. Now many times when you see a triangle like this, you might see a marking with like a little dash. And you might see one dash here and one dash here. Notice they both have one dash representing that they are exactly the same side length. And this side of my triangle is going to have two dashes. Notice it does not have one dash like the other two side lengths because this side length represents that it is a different measurement than the other two side lengths. In this triangle here, we have another isosceles triangle. We know this because both sides are labeled as 3 feet. They were measured to be the exact same side length, which is why we classify this as an isosceles triangle. Now this time actually in red, I'm going to mark my triangle with one dash, and now the third side that's different is going to have two dashes, representing that two sides are the same and one are different. Now you might see my eyes up here in this corner. Now what my little trick to remember what an isosceles triangle is when I say isosceles triangle, the first letter, what you might hear is I or I. Eyes. Think of how many eyes you have. Everybody has two eyes. So notice an isosceles triangle has two eyes. Therefore, an isosceles triangle has two equal sides. So when you hear isosceles triangle, think of eyes. How many eyes do you have? Two eyes. So an isosceles triangle has two equal sides. The next type of triangle we're going to talk about is an equilateral triangle. That means all sides are the same length. Now I want you to say equilateral triangle and think about what word you might hear. When I hear equilateral triangle, I hear the word equal, and it's not spelled exactly equal, but it's pretty close. Equilateral triangle. Equal, almost 3 equal side lengths. Therefore, this triangle here that's measured with 5 units, 5 units, and 5 units has 3 equal sides. So I can also mark that here as one dash, and one dash. And notice they all have one dash because all 3 sides are exactly the same. So when I represent it with the dashes, I put exactly the same dash on each side length, representing that all 3 are exactly the same side measurement. Here we have another equilateral triangle, and that's because the 3 given side lengths are all 4 feet. That's measuring that all 3 sides are the same, therefore it's an equilateral triangle. And I can also recognize this by my dashes along all 3 side lengths. And again, notice they're all one dash on each side, representing that they're all equal sides. Now here, for both these triangles, because they had the same measurements, or all 3 sides were measured to be exactly the same side length, we can classify these two triangles as an equilateral triangle. Now, as a reminder, these are the three triangles we discussed in this video and that you will be using today. I encourage you to pause this video and write down these definitions or draw these triangles on your paper to help you with today's activities. Now, as a reminder, we just discussed an equilateral triangle that we have here. All sides are the same length. Notice all three sides are labeled 5 units. Here, isosceles triangle, isosceles triangle. I hear I. We have 2 eyes, 2 equal sides. Isosceles triangle means that at least 2 sides are the same side length. Notice here this side is classified as 6 units, 6 units, and 10 units. Notice that 2 sides are exactly the same. Therefore, it's classified as an isosceles triangle. And my last type of triangle is a scalene triangle. That means no sides are the same length. Notice here, all 3 side lengths are completely different side lengths. We have 5 units, 9 units, and 7 units. So we classify this triangle as a scalene triangle. So when you hear classifications of triangles and you hear equilateral, isosceles, scalene, that means that that triangle that was given to you is classified by the sides. So that's your hint to tell you need to look at the side lengths to help you classify triangles. So now you've learned about side lengths and angles. So you can use the side lengths and angles to classify triangles. However, today you are going to be working on classifying triangles specifically by just sides and working with equilateral, isosceles, and scalene triangles. As always, refer back to this video at any time to help you with today's activities.